So in this video I'm going to be solving this or transposing this formula, and this is one of the exercises on tutorial 1, and the question says transpose this formula to make h the subject. So what we're looking for is h equals an expression, and we want to find out what that expression is going to be equal to. Okay, we're going to start by moving this pi that is multiplying the square root on the right hand side. It's going to go to the left hand side dividing, so a over pi equals square root of r squared plus h squared. Now we want to get rid of the square root to bring our h from inside outside, so we're going to square both sides. So if I do the square of the left hand side and the square of the right hand side, on the right hand side square root squared cancel each other, and we get that a squared over pi squared equals r squared plus h squared. We're looking for h being the subject of the formula, so any term that doesn't contain h is going to move to the other side of the equal sign. So a squared over pi squared minus the r squared was adding on the right hand side, it goes to the left hand side subtracting, minus r squared equals h squared. Same thing we did earlier, we had a square root, we squared, now we have a squared, we calculate the square root of both sides. So in here, square root all the way, and square root. The square root and the square will cancel each other, and what we have left is that h here equals the square root of a squared over pi squared minus r squared. And this is already the solution. If we want to check our solution with the solution given in the handout, the only difference is that these two fractions inside the square root have been added. If we add those fractions, we get h equals big square root. We're going to put those two fractions into one fraction. We get pi squared dividing pi squared divided by pi squared is 1 times a squared is a squared. Pi squared divided by this 1 here is pi squared times r squared. And now that we have this term dividing here, that can come out of the square root as pi, and we get the square root of a squared minus pi squared times r squared. And this is our formula with h being the subject of the equation.